Oh, look what Santa brought. A measuring device. We're going to need a big measuring device because it snowed really hard somewhere. Yeah, it sounds kind of windy. It's kind of chilly out there, Steve, but we can do this. We got to go measure. How much snow did we get, T-Rex? It was snowing like crazy yesterday in a lot of spots. Steve, after you. TK, 33 degrees. Once again, I don't know. I think this thing is slipping. I think we're in the upper 20s right now. 8:30. It is Saturday, December 21st, and it's the winter solstice. Sol, Latin for the sun. Stice, Latin for stop. The sun stops getting lower in the sky today. It has begun. Let's measure the snow. What? Measure the what? Okay, here's how much we got in North Weymouth, where it precipitated all day long yesterday. Not even enough to track a mouse. Oh my goodness. How's the ice bucket doing? It's deeper. The ice is only about 1/4 of an inch thick. And look over there. We can look across this barren landscape over to the higher elevations over there towards, that's Germantown in Quincy. And you can see is the hills, you can't quite see them. I can see them from the upper deck, but pan over this way. West Roxbury got 6 inches of snow. Fenway Park, 6 inches of snow. I have not heard the number from Blue Hill. Downtown Boston got about 4 inches. I don't know where the official snow measurement is for Logan Airport anymore. I don't think it's at Logan. I actually think it's in the back bay somewhere. So snow measurement is a very, it's not an objective. It's subjective. How much snow did you get? I think the best surprise of the day is where we thought the least likely spot for snow would be. Look at that plane and those sky waves right there. Planes landing toward the northwest into this cold air advection. The coast of Connecticut. We stated throughout this whole thing that it was the least likely place to get snow. And guess what? I love your name. Dave Coldwater Storkman in Branford, Connecticut. The ground is white. And also in Niantic, coating of snow in Niantic this morning, too. Thank you all for sharing so many pictures and so many images. It was supposed to be sort of a coastal event, but would it be cold enough for snow? And I guess it wasn't. Here yesterday, we did pick up a quick coating in the morning, and then it changed over. Can I get down these stairs without killing myself? It's very icy. How icy is it at your house this morning? I'm trying to come over here and check these other gauges. And while I do this, I'll share what happened in Dennis yesterday. Chuck Stockdale, Friday night at the shed. Sorry I missed it, Chuck. Those are some pretty fat snowflakes there on Mayfair Road in South Dennis. And then Brother Ed up the other end of Old Main Street. He's got those lasers, Christmas decorations, and it was snowing so hard you couldn't even see the lasers hitting the snowflakes because of the snowflakes right in front of the camera. But thank you guys for all participating. And then I was over at Route 134 hitting the road to come home, and it was just snowing like crazy. I thought this ride home was going to be terrible. It was bad on Route 6, but there was more snow on the Cape than off the Cape. When I went over the bridge, it changed to rain. And that was good for driving, but bad for my heart because I thought it was going to be snowing on the South Shore of Massachusetts. All right, that's it. I need a new Accurite. The batteries only last a couple of weeks. I put new batteries in actually a week ago. It's 27 degrees out, so that thermometer indoors has to go. I need a new one, Santa. And how about the H2O? Oh boy, you're not supposed to let your rain gauges freeze. Did I miss any rainstorms? It's rained 3 times this week, but I did empty it after the first one. But in the second 2 rains now, we're at 1 inch plus the spillover of another 0.2. So we're at about 1.2 inches of H2O. So the worms have been fed. I ordered a new compost thermometer. We'll put that in today if it's not broken. And there's the, look at, you can still see some of the snowflakes. Wow, look at that. Snowflake. Gorgeous. From last evening. It snowed hard at the very end for about 5 minutes. So we'll have a lot more of the trials and tribulations of a weatherman trying to catch up with the weather. Yesterday was definitely a play-by-play, and no man or machine got hardly any of this forecast right. We'll just do a shout out to the Canadian model. It's been all Steve-centric for the last 8 days, talking about will it snow at Steve's house in Shrewsbury, and it certainly did. Beautiful. Last night, snow stopped, and all right, we've got a couple of Steves here. So Steve in Shrewsbury, we started with a 50-50 probability of a white Christmas for you last Friday, and then we upped the odds a little bit, and then we brought them back down. Well, we should have left them up. The Canadian model for the win with the snow in New England, and I appreciate all the comments. Some people saying that I was the only one that nailed this. Well, I didn't really nail it because I didn't even get my own backyard right, but the Canadian made the most sense. It stuck with the snow, and so hats off, to our neighbors to the north. Terrible scenes on the roadways yesterday. I realized that Friday snow is not that welcome, but hopefully we are in position we can enjoy it. Even if it's not a white Christmas, I call it a white Christmas season. All these images of the snow. And Nick, the storm chaser in New York City, walking around New York City this morning as the sun was coming up during the solstice. He said it was just so peaceful and quiet. Beautiful shots, Nick. Thank you for sharing those from New York City. And Blair also. Blair, artist, Talcott in New York City with her beautiful photographs. Love that. And Blair's also distributing, I think, seasonal calendars. So it is the season, last minute gifts. I could use a new thermometer, and I got plenty of these. I'm going to actually take this guy up to Blue Hill today and measure the snow at Blue Hill. That's one of my goals. So kind of in a hurry. You can't tell that by the way I've been talking so far. So this, Steve, so disappointed. We thought it would be at least ankle deep on Steve. So what's next? Why don't we stay Weymouth-centric now? Here is the Euro meteogram from weather.us for Weymouth, and it shows still barely cold, like winter here. Today is in the 20s, low 30s, and then tomorrow we're only in the teens, so it's a really one-day serious cold shot, and then it starts to rebound with snowflakes in the forecast for Christmas Eve. And the Canadian actually doesn't have as much snow as the European, which we'll look at in a moment, for the potential for more action coming in Tuesday, Wednesday, and then beyond, really. And let's go to the start with a tight picture. I didn't even show this yet. The temperatures this morning, and it was still snowing in the Green Mountains. It was still snowing in Connecticut. The red numbers are wind gusts, teens and 20s, but still on the outer Cape, only in the lower 30s. How did the Cape get more snow? I don't know about the outer Cape, but the mid-Cape got 2.5 inches. And so it's cold air advection now. The top of Mount Washington is at 2 or 3 below, and surprisingly, it's only 30-40 mile an hour wind, so it's not that windy yet, but I think it's going to get more windy. Here's the surface analysis. The reason for there's probably 3 reasons or 4 reasons it snowed yesterday. 1, we had an upper level low coming in. 2, we had a wave on an Arctic front coming in from the northwest. 3, we had a deepening ocean storm. And 4, we had these troughs of low pressure at the surface, those orange dashed lines swinging through. And that's the orange dashed line coming through Connecticut this morning. Here's the northeast radar, and it did show, wow, it looks like it wants to snow here. It did show snow band coming off of Lake Champlain, the back edge of the old system going out of eastern Maine, and that separate snow there across New York into southern Connecticut. And that's the upper level low kicking out of here with a little surface indentation beneath it. And now let's widen it out and show the Eastern Pacific Ocean. Look at those behemoths of storms from Alaska down to off of California. Those are going to come in waves and cross the country in waves. And this one coming into California right now is going to end up being our next weather maker. It's going to kind of take a route right across the nation. It'll disappear over the Rockies and then reappear over New England. So why don't we just get right to that, go to the Euro and show the weather system here. Our storm is lifting out to the east. It's a strengthening storm. The wind is picking up until that high gets right over us. Now tomorrow night, a lot of sub-zero readings tonight and tomorrow night, especially where there's deep snow on the ground. And then that high gives way to waves of low pressure. That system that's coming into California today is going to be coming across, looks like New York State here on Tuesday, with high pressure in eastern Canada that's going to create an onshore flow, and with the chances of maybe a wintry mix, but most likely areas of snow coming through here Tuesday into Christmas Day. And it doesn't look like a lot, but yesterday didn't look like a lot from a couple days out either, did it? And this system is going to eventually slide out to our south, and that'll be an ocean storm. And high pressure is going to be left behind that, so it'll stay kind of chilly with an east-northeast wind even as much of the nation warms up. And then another system coming out of the Pacific, coming across the more southern route, that's going to be a cold rainmaker in the central and maybe southeastern United States. And then that's going to be kind of on our doorstep now as we get out to day 10. And it looks like there could be a little of non-snow coming at us towards New Year's Eve, but not a big warm-up or meltdown. So skiing should be fabulous. You're going to need your mittens and toe warmers for the next 3 days. And then I wrote a Jay blog, and Jay's come in with about 5 inches since yesterday, and probably snowing most of the day today. And I said probably between now and Christmas another 15 inches of snow at the ski areas. And word from all the groomers is that they're in great shape. So skiing is in great shape. I guess that's the end of the weather part. I was so kind of wound up and confused because yesterday I just didn't know what the weather was going to do. 1 minute after the other, I kept watching my webcam here, and I just couldn't believe it was rain all day long as I was watching the heavy snow on the webcams in Boston. The Boston webcam, that's also one of our webcammers, me and Michael McCormick. We kind of go into business together on webcams if you want one, that one in Steve's yard. And so I was watching all the web cameras, and then I was looking out the doors. I was preparing to come back, and it started snowing in South Dennis, and I couldn't believe it was snowing so hard in South Dennis where there were 2 inches of snow. And here in Weymouth, we got Zippo. Plymouth County was kind of robbed. I don't even think I didn't show that snowfall map, did I? This snowfall map where it shows that 2.5 there in Yarmouth, and then nothing over the bridge until you get up just to the west of Weymouth. I probably could go for a ride about 5 minutes and find an inch or two of snow. And I'm going to do that today. That'll be in tomorrow's and more. So for today's and more, this frozen rows and just my observations from yesterday. Chasing, and you could probably sense my frustration and seeing the cars go by with all the snow on them, and just so fascinating that I can look almost less than a mile, I think that is, and the ground is white right there in Germantown. All right, off to Blue Hill today, going to the observatory, and we'll have some and more from there tomorrow. Talk to you then. Here's the and more from yesterday. All right, a little bit more from today. Rex just couldn't wait to get back inside. He jumps up on the couch, and look who's here. Mitt. Hey, Mitt. I don't think I talked about why it snowed so hard on Cape Cod while it was raining here. Well, it had to do with intensity, and we call those deformation bands that set up. It just came down so hard with dynamic cooling, and it was sort of a band around the cyclogenesis of the storm offshore. So that's my excuse for why it snowed so hard on Cape Cod and so little in Plymouth, even though the most water content, we got an inch of rain here off Cape and a little less on Cape. And then Rex, he wants to go back out. Yeah, sure you do, Rex. Why? Just because when a dog's in, he wants to go out, and when a dog's out, he wants to go in. All right, here's the and more from yesterday. Okay, I'm just talking to Rick. He's across the pond, and I had to hang up because a red-tailed hawk just landed right there. They're so good at hearing. Be very quiet. Right there. So it's still raining here in South Dennis, even as it's snowing like crazy in Boston, close to 3 o'clock. Okay, you can fly now. I want to see you fly. How do I make a hawk fly? Ah! 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 Not stirred. How about if I do a blue jay squeal? I don't know how to do a blue jay squeal. Come on, can you just fly? Squirrel!
Everyone see the hawk? Just show the snow, PK. I know there's some chickens over there to the left. Oh, he's looking right at me. Hello? I wish I had a whistle or something. I don't know how to whistle without using my fingers. How about if I do, a cardinal call? What else? How about chickadee? How about cat? Nope, not going anywhere. I'm in my socks. Should I sacrifice my socks and get them soaked to fly out to work out there? Yeah, I'm still in my PJs. I've been doing litter all day. What kind of bird noises here? What are you waiting for?
Stealth is one of the ingredients in being a hawk. Now I'm in the wind and the rain and getting my feet soaked just to have this encounter. Thank you. All right, there's the red tail. And then he kind of blends into nature. And this is the status on Cape Cod. Not that heavy of precipitation. You see where it's colder, it wrings out the moisture more than where it's warmer. So as we drive north, we run into the colder and the snow. And I expect to be out the door with snow on the ground. And Steve and T-Rex and some Mitt. All right, let's get going. Yep. Dickies. All right, now I was just about to get in the car and drive north, and everyone says it's raining everywhere. So I'm like, good, that'll be good for my drive. This is South Dennis at just about sunset, and this is not rain. Now casting at its best. You can hear it. This is snaying. Snowy rain in South Dennis. So instability and colder air aloft. Just teasing weather forecasters today, including moi. 4:30. Half hour ago, the rain snow line was west of Boston. I didn't think it would be snowing on Cape Cod first. Yay. Game on. Perfect timing for this song. Not allowed to play that music though.
The pike to 93 on that lower end of 128.95, and then 95 southbound. And we have a crash at the Denver overpass in Canton. Sheena to pass the WBC traffic on the 3.
We still got the rain and snow around. Most of the rain.
You don't say.
Off to the south of the city, the south.
All right, let's do this.
We're even getting in on some snow back into Attleboro and Providence, and even just inland from the northern.
High on the hill here in the mid-cape. Goes into 5 o'clock. Better be careful what we wish for, huh? Yep. It's going to be a fun ride home, that's for sure. Seasons. Much less snow in Sandwich than Dennis at 5:30, 34 degrees. This is much better than it's been. Bare ground, barely snow at the canal. Much heavier and worse in the mid-cape. Go figure. Rain in Plymouth, but the ground is white, so it must have come down a lot harder here earlier. Every mile, every minute, totally different. Impossible weather forecast. All you can do is say, ultimate respect for weather. Who would have thought? Leave white Cape Cod and come home to barren, wet Weymouth, Massachusetts, 37 degrees, a couple of slushy raindrops. So how does it end up? More snow in Dennis than Weymouth? So you want to be a weatherman. All has to do with the bands. Where are the bands set up? Snowing to beat the band on Cape Cod. Light rain in Weymouth. Okay. Hey, Mitt, can you get in this one? Good boy. All right, Rex, let's go ahead. Steve's already out there. All right, we're pushing 7 o'clock, 36 degrees, and of course the Accurate says there's going to be a thunderstorm. It always says there's going to be a thunderstorm. What do you say, Rex? Let's go outside. He's like, wait, I'm not so sure if I want to go out. Come on, Rex, this way. It's really fun. So this just happened. The day started with snow at 7 a.m. with a white ground, and now it's ending as snow at 7 p.m. But hopefully this is not the end of the snow. Steve just came out the door a few minutes ago. Steve, How deep is the snow going to be on your legs in the morning? We do not know. But weather following me today. Weather chases me. So it's so disappointing to leave a snowstorm on Cape Cod and then come all the way through rain and come home to rain that just changed to snow. So there's probably more and more and more to go. Road's been treated. Still 36 degrees. Precipitation has ended here in North Weymouth. It is at once gratifying and at the same time disturbing that weather remains unpredictable. Less snow in Weymouth than on Cape Cod. Plenty of salt on the roads. It's trying to change to snow. Hey, sign masters. Sorry about the misleading information. I'm gonna go in here and get a new snow stake to carry up to Blue Hill. For the day of the solstice, we're gonna have a special measurement. I bet it's close to historic on Blue Hill, even though it's raining here. I've heard 6 inches in West Roxbury. Mile 59, 63, please report to suspicious man with camera making a video on a relatively quiet night. In the tool section is where you find the best snow measuring devices. And there just happen to be 2 of these left. What are the odds? Sold. Let's see if we get this much snow this year. Could happen. It's about average. Well, it didn't change in those 4 minutes. Forensic meteorology. Mind if I measure the snow in your truck and ask you where you came from? And then there's another one over here. Just toying with us, Mother Nature. Oh my god. Oh my goodness, look at this license plate. DK 62. Off by 1 year. All right, stop it. You're gonna get yourself in trouble. There's another car with snow on it. All right, one more. 33 degrees, 10 p.m. Just won't stop stopping. The wind is finally coming around from the north, and we're about to end a 5.5 day thaw. T-Rex, you really want to go out there to end the day? How it started, it was snowing when the sun came up, but it was still well into the mid-30s. And now finally, the wind is coming around from the north, and we have legit snow that's going to not melt. As the Arctic front merges with a developing offshore storm. What an interesting day. Wow. So I still don't know how much snow we're gonna have on the ground in the morning. I would say it's at least white. Maybe over Steve's paws. How'd that work out? Well. Finally looks like we get some legit snow trying to accumulate in North Weymouth. Think we can catch up with Cape Cod? I don't know. The wind just came around from the north. It's howling. And the temperature here has been above freezing since Sunday. It's like a 5.5 day thaw. A December thaw ending with snow. T-Rex, you like that? I do too. Just wish we could have gotten as much as Cape Cod or somehow gotten the forecast correct. Well, we called for snow. And finally, it's snowing and blowing. And here comes the freeze. All right, let's go inside, Rex.